first time we started using it was for our live shows of The Voice. We were live in November, and we delivered all of our live shows, which was about 6 weeks, about 13 episodes for the network on Cinedeck. The live shows go live, and then they also get formatted for international and for rebroadcast on NBC. And this season, we just started with our second episode. We finished our 5th episode today on the Cinedeck, and we're doing everything file-based delivery. And it's been great. And ADS makes a bunch of different versions for Talpa, who's the owner of the format in Holland. It also goes to Singapore. It also goes to Dubai. It also goes to South America. And all different formats, all from our Apple ProRes HQ file. I don't know, what else do you want to add?
Jim, do you do this for both Avid and Pro Tools? Do you use it?
Yes. That was the thing. There were, basically, initially Cinedeck was advertised as a direct replacement for the SR deck. And as Charles learned, people use the SR deck in a lot of different ways. And so initially it worked well as an SR deck in a video edit environment with the Avid, but not so much with Pro Tools. And Charles worked a lot with the guys at Levels, especially Avo. I know he's here somewhere.
He's here.
And it's like, well, it's got to do this, this, and this, and finally it's now working pretty well. We've had, like I said, 5 successful sessions today.
With Pro Tools and Media Composer
Yeah.
working in. So we're talking about one deck for both systems. That's pretty amazing. Go ahead.
Yeah, so for us, there are 3 locations now. We have a Cinedeck at Universal. There's a Cinedeck at Levels, and there's also a Cinedeck at ADS. Brad, I don't know how you guys are actually using it, but they basically have a caddy. And instead of having tapes, we have four drives. We have 4 SSD drives that we have in 4 plastic boxes. They either say 2 levels or to our dub facility ADS. And we start off, we master on a Wednesday. We do our picture laydown. At the completion of that, we watch every episode act by act. It's 11 acts, so an hour and 25 minutes of content, thereabouts. Takes about 3.5 hours to go through. And then Robert does a bunch of notes, because our producers have notes. They watch it over and over and over again. So things that they've seen in offlane, they say, oh, we should fix that, we should fix that, we should fix that. When Robert's done, then the final picture goes to Levels. We go through the same process again, making any audio tweaks. Invariably on that giant screen at Levels, which is about that big, they see more picture notes. So that drive goes back to Robert. We do picture notes. And then when that's done, Robert makes a copy of it. So we keep a copy of the master, and then that little caddy goes down to ADS, and ADS starts with an Apple ProRes HQ file, which before they were starting with an SR. So that SR tape would go to ADS, and the first thing they'd do is they'd make a file. And occasionally we would have a concealment error from a HDCam SR deck. It's just interchanged, like the first decks that we were using at Universal was like, oh yeah, we'll get you a deck, and that same tape that played fine at Universal did not necessarily play fine at Levels, or if it did, it may not have played fine at ADS. So all the concealment errors with SR gone. I don't know if you've done any Google searches or eBay searches for an SR deck lately, but I know the original price was about 120 grand, and now I think you can buy them for 12.
Almost 10 last week.
And Sony doesn't make them anymore. So, I mean, it's clearly going away. And yeah, we're, as you said, bleeding edge. Somebody had to be Lewis and Clark. And our producers are constantly saying, well, wait, when do we need to lock by? So now we were probably going to deliver day of air, which is not great, but instead of, we know we won't have concealment errors.
By the way, Brad.
I know, I already gave
This was the place we were supposed to let him know, but
yeah. So they're constantly pushing that for us, and this has always been our workflow. Reality's always been this way. Unlike features and long form, they have a much longer lead time, and they can kind of accordion. But once we get to our lock date, there's no room to contract the schedule. We just know how long it takes.